All right, so we are at the point where we've gone through all of our to-do items, and for the levered cash flows, I haven't touched them yet because the levered cash flows are going to depend heavily on the unlevered cash flows actually being modeled out on a monthly timeline. And so that's kind of where we stopped because I wanted to first set up the controls in this model. The controls exist for the unlevered cash flows. Now we need to build the unlevered cash flows. So the thing we're going to do to accomplish that is split our screen so we can see both. If you're curious how I am able to split my screen like that, I use a tool called Microsoft Power Toys. It's got a tool inside of it called Fancy Zones. But anyways, we'll go back to our notes periodically. The first thing I want to do is going to be our construction cash flows. So on the left side of my screen, we're actually going to build the building, and it's going to cost us this much. It's really our project costs, not so much, more so than just our construction cash flows. So our monthlies, I'm going to group these columns so I can kind of just see forever. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I hope that's not too painful for your eyes. So parcel 1, I don't need any of that shading. Parcel 1 is going to have all these things. And then I think we can you could have an end month on this. I'm just trying to keep it tight. So yeah, I might as well. I'll deal with the stuff later. Equals so keep in mind that we just going to put these little like less than or equal to and greater than equal to signs so people understand what's going on in terms of like, it's weird to see start month and end month be the same month, but then the duration is one. It's because 1 month is just the same start and end, right? That is a month. So equals if the month equals is greater than or equal to that, and and that is greater than equal to the start month. I'm locking in the cell references. If you're not familiar with locking in cell references, there's plenty of YouTube tutorials for you. Then give me the cost divided by the duration. Cool. Otherwise, I'm seeing a lot of falses. Otherwise, give me 0. And I've collapsed columns. And now I want to multiply everything times -1. I don't like using just straight negative signs and stuff. So these are my total project costs for parcel 1. And so is this correct? Total parcel 1 project costs. Excuse me. So what's one way we can confirm if this is correct? So remember how I talked about check. So project 1 cost parcel 1 cost foot. So if I've got that, I know that's the right number. Plus, so that's a positive because that's how we've got it set up on that sheet. Plus that, notice this little guy on column EG. That's how I kind of say where cash flows start and end. So I'm missing 150K. Now that is because carry. I'm not modeling out the interest carry. Well, you know what? Let's keep that check wrong, actually. I want the check to actually have the interest carry in it. This is not going to show up here, though. Parcel 1 project costs X interest carry. Well, here. Equals control I7 minus interest carry. Sum. That's all good. So no interest carry. The interest carry will show up. That happens somewhere else because it's a levered cash flow. These are the unlevered project costs. So then this is parcel 2 project costs X interest carry. It's literally going to be the same formula. In fact, yeah, so we just need to move that one down. And then let's bring these. Yep, and so that's going to be, so X interest carry. Same thing. So equals that minus that plus the sum, because these are negatives, of that parcel 2. So remember, we buy the parcel at the start of the investment and kind of just sit on it as land. These building costs are here, and then you've got this other TI allowance, which is a different number. We will add annual cash flows, so it's easier to read this. So let's actually go ahead and do that. So annual cash flow summary, monthly cash. So that's going to be your T0, 0, 0. I don't really need this after entry during hold thing. So this is going to be month 12, year 1. That was 12. Let's get the same styling for these columns, and then let's stretch it out to year 11. Cool. Let's make it just too wide again, like the other one. Put a little arrow just so people know. And then I'm going to keep this with a little gap just to clear that up. All right, this Karnak thing. Appearance. Oh. Let's make it a little bit smaller and a little bit less offset. So here's our annual cash flows, which are not done yet. This is a sum ifs formula, pretty straightforward. If you don't know it, again, there's lots of YouTube videos and stuff for you. I want to make sure I talk about the basics, but I don't need to get into like how like super basic stuff like sum ifs works. I'm adding a total column here just so that we can have something that's got totals in it. I usually like to, if there's actually like a sum formula, I like to use that even on like an annual summary. So just to like show you what this model will end up looking like, we're gonna keep working in the monthly cash flows, but monthly cash flows can be hard to read from a high level to understand the deal. So that's why I like to do annual summaries, and here you can see what it costs to build this thing. And we're going to just take this and put that there. And then now you can see that. Pretty much the same costs. You can see the same totals here that we're expecting to see. The only difference is we're missing this 150K interest carry, which we will do in a second. But that is your unlevered project costs. So you don't start building this one until that one's finished. And you can see that in the monthly cash flows, right? Spin, spin, spin. And then boom. Done spinning TI allowance. All right, that building's done. People have moved in. Spin, 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 spin. Got it. And so your revenue, so then let's do parcel 1 NOI. This is going to be very basic. There are no operating expenses at this property. So it's literally just going to be your rent. So let's just call it NOI. Parcel 1, parcel 2, total NOI. So I'm actually going to add what I call a backup section. NOI for reversion, for exit value. No end. So this is backup. So I like to do the NOI. Thing is, we're gonna have to turn it off with this after entry during hold logic. But so we need it, but we do need it for the 12 months after we sell. So we need to calculate it for like a running total as well. So this part, this NOI, this is going to be another sum ifs. If you don't know what I'm doing, pause the video and read the formula and try to understand. But I'm basically going to do sum ifs. The sum range is the monthly amount, right? So give me the monthly amount. You know, I'm going to add a little buffer line here in case anyone ever wants to extend this to more than 15 years, just so people can. These little buffer lines are helpful to do for sums. So equals sum ifs, parcel 1. So let's do that. Boom, boom. That. And then sum ifs. And then that is greater than or equal to the current month. And then this one is less than or equal to the current month. So it's going to be 0 in that first month. And that 0 in the first, for this one, it's going to be 0 until, so let's see what I did wrong. So that, sum that, if the begin month is greater than or equal to 7. Okay, so that should be, so 12. I should definitely have something for 12. So I've messed something up. So sum ifs, give me the total dollars if that is greater than or equal to 12. And if that is less than or equal to 12. So I should be picking up 22, 157, 33. I'm kind of confused why I'm not picking that up. E33, E51, 33. $12 is greater than 10, and it's less than sum ifs 33 through 50. Here, see, I'm not always a big genius. I'm just gonna do it for the other one, see if maybe I just typed something weird and I'm not catching it. So for this one, I won't get anything until like month 26. Let's just go here. So equals sum ifs. That is greater than or equal to that, and that is less than or equal to. That's just not making sense. Well, now we get to see what I am doing wrong here. So equals if and I'm just testing my formula. I-55 is less than or equal to. I'm reversed. I'm reversed. I'm doing the op. See, I'm not a mathematician. Got it. And then this one, well, I deleted it, but I'll do it again. Okay. Cool. So we should see it steps up. So 28,368, year 11, 28,368. Boom. See, that's beautiful. This is, I'm just going to put this here, and then this can be the sum. All this stuff should be green. That's something I haven't been doing. It should be green. If it is an external link to another sheet, that's what green means. So I'm going to take this. And then parcel 2, it's going to be the same logic. Monthly. So then that is less than or equal to this month. And that is greater than or equal to this month. So year 11, 28,648, year 11 of the whole period, month 129. So these years are different because they're not the same as the model's years. They're the lease years. So it's, I'm going to actually, just to be clear, this is the leased years, not the years of the model, because lease year 1 starts sometime in model year 3. So it's important to make that distinction so people don't get confused. Because if you didn't build this model, you see year 1, you might think, oh, year 1 of the whole period, and that's a very reasonable thing to think. Lease totals are kind of pointless. So, but I don't know. I just like to see them. Nah, you know what? No, they're meaningless, so I'm going to put NM. And now, NOI is going to be parcel 1, parcel 2. I'll just do this. But these ones won't be green because they're not external links. This is just going to be equals if. I'm just going to do that. If that equals 0, then 0. Otherwise, give me the NOI. I don't need to lock that in. So now you can see it cuts off in year 10, which is what we want to see. And if we go into the cash flows themselves, year 10, once it becomes year 11, I'm looking here. Once it becomes year 11, it's 0. So NOI during hold period. I don't think I need that much. I'm just proper casing a few of these things. I like bolding these, but total NOI for exit. Okay. So we've got NOI. So let's go back to our notes. So we've got construction cash flows are mostly done. We have an interest carry, but I made that orange so I won't forget. Rents are done. Land sale value and toggle. So the land sale value. So So we're going to need to get the next 12 months after exit to get the exit value. So NTM NOI at exit, we've actually got the math here. So this is the one for exit value. Let's remember that. So sum ifs. That criteria range, let's just use the date. Greater than, just purely greater than, not greater than or equal to, but greater than the exit date. And then this less than or equal to the NTM. And let's just go 3, 1, 6, 4, 1, 7, 8. Seems like way too much because the most we're going to have is that. So let's, yeah, of course. Okay, yeah, sorry. I use the entry date, not the exit date. So D38, and now I need D39 for parcel 2. So the formula remains the same. You can see it's getting the same answer right now because everything is locked in. But you've got D39 now. And you cap it out of 7, and then that's your exit value, and that's great. I'm going to turn off this inconsistent formula error because it's not relevant. We could have different exit dates, so I think we should. You know, if you can have something and it's just as easy. The entry date's the same for everything. Let's see, exit date, that could be different. The whole period could be different. So I'm just going to pull this down. Hold period, exit date. It's just 120. And then this will be equal to EL1. It's the same thing. You know what? Let's not do it. Let's not do it. That's more than they want. And I've already set up the NOI, and then there's just going to be other stuff that. Let's have one exit date. If he wants multiple, that's an upgrade we can make to the model later. It won't be hard, but just for simplicity, I don't need to do stuff that he didn't ask for. But you know what? Kind of did ask for it. So exit month 120. Exit date. Yeah, I got to do it this way. I got to change EO month entry date. Wait, why are there 2 entry dates? NM means not meaningful, not really. NA is like not available, which is like I'm missing this data. NM's like it's a meaningless thing, and that's gonna have. So I need to just change a couple things. So let's do if that is less than or equal to parcel 1's, then give me the NOI. Otherwise, give me 0. And then this is going to be the wrong thing frozen. If that is less than or equal to that, then give me the NOI. Otherwise, give me 0. These first 2 are always going to be 0, so I'm actually going to go ahead and do a thing I do to be like, hey, this is always 0. Ignore it. I made it blue. I hard-coded it as 0. These are formulas. Just making it obvious what like works and what doesn't work. But you'll see in year 10, they both shut off as it was expected. This after entry during hold, I think has no dependence. I just hit Control-Shift back bracket to do that. Okay. The model now is set to have these exit dates obviously, if it's a land sale month, then that's going to be different. Let's make sure nothing else looks at this. Yep. So these look at that. So that's that. And then I'm going to put that there. And that'll break it, but I'll fix it. And this is also going to be just not meaningful. Now, before I delete stuff, notice how I'm doing this trace dependence. Just want to make sure that nothing depends on a cell before I get rid of it. That's a very good way to keep your model clean. Tree timing. So we just, okay, cool. And now it looks prettier. So like, you don't want to get too obsessed with making things pretty because you're just going to keep moving things around anyway. This one I might shift to the right. Here I am saying, don't obsess over making things pretty. And then what do? I obsess over making things pretty. Okay. Entry timing's here. I don't like how blank this is, but that's okay. This needs to happen. We did the exit valuation, so I'm going to finish. I think I'm going to finish with the exit valuation because the next step of land sale toggle is kind of just going back to what we've already done and turning stuff off. So for the exit valuation, we already calculated it here, but I need to add a few more items. Fix that border. Exit costs. So just put a variable here. Sometimes I put stuff off to the side. Exit costs. All right. I think this land sale month should go above our land sale value. This will drop down. We're going to take the same logic here. Hopefully it makes sense what I'm doing right now. I'm just working through it. There's probably, like, he's probably going to want to format this differently than what we've done, but because it could be confusing to an outside observer, which one is actually active. This is going to be a big part of understanding which one's active, but like seeing two exit values, yeah, who knows? I just think it's helpful to have everything laid out at once so you can visually compare the scenarios, but also have the functionality in the model to turn them on and off. So we should have everything we need now. So I know my net exit value. So that's good. So this will be exit value, parcel 1 stabilized, parcel 2 stabilized, and then let's just parcel 1 land sale net. It's going to be net. Parcel 2 land sale total net exit value. These will be 0 in the first month because you're not going to buy and sell it. So if I think it'll be easier. Nah. So equals. We'll just build. We'll do the first land sale toggle. So if that equals 0, then give me. Let's add a little bit more detail. But I'm going to add it above because the first place people are going to look is above. So let's actually consolidate this a bit. Exit scenario toggle. So equals if that equals 0, equals. Let's do. Equals 0, then give me the stabilized exit date, which will be that one. You know what? Just to make it a little bit less confusing, let's just make it one big schedule. Because this is land sale. Let's see, I'll back up. I'll put back up. This is just trying to make it obvious. Trying to make it clear. Okay, so back to it. If that is 0, then I'm just trying to make these parallel construction. So it starts with the value first. And nothing uses this 120, I think. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of that too. General. I'm just going to call this general. I might add some other stuff like property name, but right now it's just that. Stabilizer. Okay, so back to it. I don't need a lock on that one. So back to it, because if that equals 0, and then give me no, zero's fine. Zero's fine. I like 1 though for stabilized because that feels more like the default. So that if that equals 1, and then give me the stabilized net exit value. Date. Otherwise, give me the land sale exit date. I'm just trying to make this like an easy read. None of this stuff is like super important to functionality. So if that equals 1, then give me the net exit value from stabilized. Otherwise, give me the negative exit value from the land sale scenario. And that'll be summaries too. I put the wrong formula. Cool. So then in cash flow now, I actually just need 2 lines. Keep things simple. And then if and this is not NM, that is meaningful. Let's look at the annuals for a second. So you buy it, you hold it, you make all this NOI, and then you sell it, and then the exits. I know this is not the, we're using NTM, so this won't be exact, but yep, cool. And then that over that, cool. But we're really using the next 12 months, so 340 and 344 are going to be a little bit higher. And these are net exit values, which include costs. So there's that, and then NOI during hold. So if that equals 0, then 0. Otherwise, give me the formula. We're going to shut that off. So if that equals 0, then 0. Otherwise, do the stabilized formula. So it should... Oops. What the heck is happening? If that equals 0, then 0. Otherwise, give me... Aha! Why is it highlighting it? That is so strange. It's like it's moving my cursor for me. Yeah, that was weird. That was a weird bug. If that equals 0, then 0. Otherwise. Okay, cool. Still exists. I will turn them off. I didn't even need to do that. And then this can just be times that one. And that could just be times this one. So let's set it to 0 now. Except this land cost is always going to happen. So that this one actually does not have that. It should always have the land cost. I'm going to make this just formatted differently. Make it purple and a little gray, just so it's clear. I don't know, just make it a little different, just so people don't think that formula is the same. Because in the situation where you have just the land sale, so I've now toggled, so I'm going to turn this off. These don't need to be orange anymore. So it's land sale mode right now. You've got just land cost, and then you sell it. And so that's what that is. Now, oh my God. Turn off Steam. What the hell? Yeah, so that's the unlevered cash flows. That looks right. You just buy it for for a cost, you sell it. So I believe I'm going to leave the exit cap rates as orange because I need his opinion on that. Actually, no, that's fine. I've got it. Good cap rate. Currently using 7% as a placeholder. My check broke. So let's just go through this. So we've got the land sale value now works. So what we want to do is I'm going to add some returns to this model eventually, but I'm just going to put that there so it fits. All right, so this is a good pausing point because we have finished. Well, let's actually do one more thing. So now we got now we just want to have our unlevered cash flows. I'm just bringing these in for style. I don't actually need the formula. So my unlevered cash flows are going to be for parcel 1 are going to be my project costs, my NOI, and my exit value. And then it's going to be the same thing for parcel 2. And that's going to be a sum. Yep. And then you know what? I don't even want to mess with it. Because then I'm going to have to show, well, I could do it. I could do it. Okay, so then I'm just going to do plus 1 over 2 total. It's not normal to. It's nice. It's nice to break it out by property, but not people don't usually expect that unless they ask for it. That's confusing. Because it's in land sale mode. So let's set it back. They're going to have the same exit date and price and stuff and not land sale mode. So what? I'm gonna put a round. So this when you get a, I'll show you again. But when you round, so when you get something that's like a check is off by like 10, E means 10 to the, so 10 to the negative 10. That's a 0. Excel can sometimes have some hanging decimals. So you can always round things by the amount of money you're willing to lose, and by rounding by 2, that means you're willing to lose pennies. And I'm willing to lose that. I'm being wrong. The thing that caught me off guard was you should expect different IRRs because these have different cash flows, but they only have different cash flows in the stabilized scenario. I should have done it the other way around, but it's okay. I'm getting a little fancy. Sorry. That's an index match. You can look it up. If you want to look at it for a second, this is the formula. So index cash flow D43 to F45. You can see the cells on my screen if you pause. Match E6 to that and match to that to that. So if you pause and look at all these cells on the right side and the left side of my screen, the formula, you can figure out how this works. I don't need to go into too much detail there. Unlevered returns. And then levered returns are going to come next. So a 9.6 is fine. And then so let's see. He shouldn't do this. He's going to make a lot less profit though. He's going to get a good IRR. So let's actually do a little analysis real quick. So you buy something and you sell it really soon. That's a high IRR because you're making a good amount of money quickly. IRR takes into account the time value of money. So you have a high IRR, but you have a low multiple and low profit because the IRR is really rewarding you for how quick you are, even though your multiple is not as high. In this scenario, you have way more profit, and you have you got a higher multiple. Now you have to keep in mind that in this scenario, you're putting in so much more money. In the land sales scenario, you're putting in 1.2 million. In this scenario, in the model right now, because I haven't done the interest reserve, you're putting 7.4 million. So that's why the profit goes higher, because you're getting a 2x on 7.4. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I think that's a good pausing point, and we'll get right back to it.